What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today I woke up and I came out here and did my normal routine, and I decided I needed to clean this son-bitch up. Got all the dust blown off of it and then out of the inside of it, but anyhow, Blazer! Alright, so this is my first time using this camera angle. I hope you guys can see what's going on. I want to go up here on like a side street, and what we're going to do is try to, I guess you can say, launch this thing. I want to show you guys exactly what it is it does whenever you try to actually like launch it, whenever you try to get off the line, man. It's definitely a problem that I need to get figured out. I mean, overall, the Blazer's really fun to drive, dude. This thing is just, I don't know, it's one of my favorite vehicles now, and it's fun just to cruise around in. Like, it's torquey, like it's got a nice pull to it. But as you guys know, like, I really want to get back into doing like some racing. And at the moment, this thing is in no condition to be able to race. Like, you can't get off the line at all. You really can't like floor it much at all either, because it just has wheel hop, bro. Well, there's a little side road that we come to all the time just to kind of take pictures and stuff over there, but it's not that, it's kind of like out of the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? I know this isn't really the best place, but I just want to do one little, you know, one little attempt to launch, and it's better than doing it in the middle of the neighborhood, right? I got a GoPro over here mounted up. I'm hoping I'm able to kind of catch what's going on with the rear end. Like, it just, so I don't know if any cameras actually mounted to the truck is going to like pick up like decent footage. It's probably just gonna shake the hell out of the GoPros, but that's the reason why I got Braven with me. He's gonna stand on the side of the road and get you guys some exterior footage also. I want to kind of catch like what it is this rear end does, so we have a before. We have a lot of work to do to this thing to get rid of it, but I would like to have some before footage, you know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. This is gonna be a one and done. Get the hell out of here, because I mean, there is businesses, like larger businesses right here, security that walks around and stuff. Well, I guess you're only going to get wheel hop if you get traction, right? Well, I guess you only get wheel hop if you actually have traction.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of rocks.
Yeah, it just spins.
Yeah. I realized that like right whenever you launched, I realized that it was like all pebbles. I was like, oh,
yeah,
man,
no, when I was turning around, bro, I could hear them. I'm like, yeah, I can hear the road, you know?
Yeah, it's not gonna help.
Yeah, I'll try to get some rolling, because even just rolling into it, it still hops in the back. And I don't know if it's necessarily... Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Is that GoPro still over there?
Yeah, it's good. when you're hauling it, bro, I think I seen you dump a little bit of fuel.
Probably, yeah. This thing's leaking fuel back there. What up, dog? Yeah! Oh my god! I always enjoyed David's energy on video, man. Half the people that would come around whenever I'm recording, they always get real dull and they just kind of hide, and you're just always just full of energy. Myself, just a big old ball of energy. Dang old Camry boy. If you guys don't remember who this is.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Yeah, it was a Camry, right?
The Corolla!
Yes, okay, but I always made the joke so much, I genuinely forgot what it was. Raymond's out here showing off his chop.
There we go. Now idle down. It's not aggressive enough. That sounds nice, I like it.
Anyhow, Raymond's over here showing off his chop because David pulled up in his new little whip right here. It's the Taho. Taho. This thing is dope though. I like this body style. This looks more like a cop car.
Yeah, it definitely does. That's how I was telling him when he first pulled up.
Yeah, this boy said he ordered some red and blues off of Amazon for it.
Should be here pretty soon.
You're breaking the law, breaking the law. No, this thing is sick though. I actually like the front bumper cut.
I just gotta paint the bottom right there. You see where it's...
Yeah, hit the frame and stuff, because you can kind of see it.
Okay, no. Oh.
Is this a four-wheel? Oh, it is a four-wheel. Is it four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive?
4.
Oh, okay.
I've been looking at these for a minute.
Yeah, they let you keep your damn wheels. That's dope. So you don't have the avalanche no more?
No. Blanche is gone.
Blanche? Dude, the interior on this is really nice too. A little. That's a factory screen, huh?
No, I put that in.
Oh, you put that in there?
Yeah.
It looks freaking factory, bro. Like,
I got it.
that looks nice. There you go.
Okay.
Focus. Yeah, that's a nice looking interior. It's all black. Shoo, I need to get me something like this, dude. I need to get me a Tahoe that I can cam.
You got the burb.
I want to get something newer. Oh my god, dude. Good lord. See you around there, buddy. I'll see you in another 6 months when you decide to stop by.
The work is hard, man, enough.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Dude, that thing is dope. You'll say, all right, don't eat up your tire. It's a nice Tahoe, man. I think it's a come up from the Avalanche. But anyhow, we're back at the house. Now back over to the Blazer. I hope that I was able to capture like the wheel hop and stuff in the footage. I haven't reviewed the GoPros yet, but we're gonna pull this thing up in here. Another thing that I'm worried about, actually, I'll talk about it whenever we get this thing in here. Alright, need to make sure my garage door is gonna shut because this thing might be sitting here for a little while. Yeah, it looks clear. Bro, this is ridiculous, man. So this is also a problem, jacking this thing up on one side, tilting the Blazer as much as it is tilted right now is causing all of my gas to pour out of the top of the gas tank. So yeah, I've been noticing, haven't brought it up, it's been in the back of my mind. Whenever I top this thing off on fuel, whenever I fill up at the gas station, if I fill it all the way up, it will spill fuel. So yeah, it must be the seal, like the O-ring for the fuel sending unit, you know, the fuel pump and everything. It slides into the top, you put the lock on, it must be that seal where it's leaking out of, because this is freaking ridiculous, man. Just add it to the list of things, you know? Alright, got this thing up on the damn wheel boxes. Now that I'm high as hell from all these freaking gas fumes. Sprayed all the gas out. That's definitely something else we're gonna have to fix. Add to the list, along with this guy right here. This just came in from Amazon. It's one of those breakers for the battery because I'm sick and tired of dealing with dead batteries. So this one I specifically ordered to use for the Blazer because at the moment it is the one that I have the most problems with. God, I need to order shocks too. I always freaking forget about the shocks. So I'm gonna set that back here so I don't lose it, but for the time being, we're gonna go ahead and just disconnect this damn battery so I don't have to worry about it dying. I'm not gonna have to start it. Move that over there out of the way. Alright, and set all this stuff back here for now. I don't know if that's the sway bar or what. It's making all that damn noise. She's just a squeaky ass girl, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I actually really like that. The fact that it's just kind of an old, squeaky, creaky ass vehicle. Like whenever you're driving around, that rear window, the rear window back here makes, oh, I think it's the window. It might be the tailgate. I don't know. But something back there makes a crazy ass like squeaking and like creaky sound as you're driving. Shit doesn't bother me, bro. Honestly, I think every square bodied S10 Blazer like this that I've ever owned has all made that noise. But anyhow, I mentioned earlier, more than just needing like a traction bar and stuff on this thing, another thing that I've never checked is pinion angle. So the engine and transmission, obviously you guys know we installed it ourselves. That cross member for the transmission I installed myself, but on top of that, not only did I install it, but I also made it. So I don't know if it's holding the transmission in the correct orientation where it should be at, you know what I'm saying? Because if the pinion angle is off really bad on the Blazer, then that can cause a vibration or wheel hop. I believe it can cause wheel hop as well, but I know it'll cause a vibration for sure. As you guys know, the drive shaft on this thing definitely causes a vibration too, but I don't know if the transmission itself might be sitting an inch or 2 inches, 4 inches higher than what it actually should be, or hell, even lower. I don't know. So the problem is that they make aftermarket transmission cross members for these, but I can't find any that says that they are specifically for an NV3500. They're mostly like for like 4L80, 4L60, or a T56, stuff like that. I can't find anything that specifically says that it's for an NV3500. So I'm just afraid of ordering something that costs $400 or $500 freaking dollars potentially and it not fitting. Like, I mean, I know I could return it, but I don't know, dude. At the same time, I don't think that this cross member is bad. It's just whether our pinion angle is correct. So if the transmission is sitting up too high, that means that the angle here is in relation to the angle here is not the same. So let me also mention that this is all learning for me, okay? I'm learning right now. So I'm sure there's some of you who know about pinion angle and stuff like that a lot more than I do. And by all means, feel free to throw any recommendations and stuff in the comments down below. I've just been, you know, like doing research and trying to figure out how to make this Blazer the best that it can possibly be, like with what I've got, of course. And that's something that I have came across is pinion angle is huge. So this Blazer is lowered. It was lowered when I got it. It has a small block right here, a small lowering block. God, that thing looks like it's maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches. But there has been a leaf spring taken out too, like the overload leaf spring, which will allow this to droop more than normal. As you can see, the bump stops up there have been cut out. This was all before I got it, so this was previous owner stuff. But looky there, but oh my God, yeah. So with those scratch marks right there, that means this is coming in contact way up there, dude. That's crazy. And the drive shaft is also rubbing in some places, I believe. Actually, no, I don't see any mark. Well, there is one right there. I do see a shiny mark right there where the drive shaft is hitting. Actually, oh yeah, I do see a couple back here as well, but the biggest one is that right there, dude. You can see that clear as day in the camera. That is gonna be because of how much the back end of this thing squats. We want it to squat, but I do know I need to get double adjustable shocks on this thing. So whenever the back end squats, you want it, whenever there's pressure pushing down on the back, you want the shock to be lifting the back up, you know what I'm saying? So the more pressure that the G-forces of the weight transferring, the more pressure is pushing down on the back, the more the shock is returning that push but upwards, you know what I'm saying? For lack of a better term, bro. Anyhow, long story short, I'm gonna try to check the pinion angle. I've never done this before, so let's see if we can figure out how to get that done.
What you want to remember, number one, step one, is you always want to point your engine and transmission down. You want to point it downhill towards the back. I've never heard of anybody pointing it uphill. So obviously you want to point it downhill. But you don't want to point it downhill at a really extreme angle. The generally accepted angle that everybody likes to say is 3 degrees. If it's 3 degrees or less, not 0, so let's say 0.5 degree to 3 degrees, you're in good shape. There's a lot of variables that determine how you can set that up. A lot of times there's not a ton of room in there. Your transmission tunnel can determine what angle it needs to be at. Also the position of the engine, the height of the engine in your motor mounts. That also can be a limitation when you're setting up your engine and transmission angle. As a general rule, you try to get it less than 3 degrees, but not 0 degrees. 2 degrees, in my mind, is about perfect, and that's what I've read in a lot of places. That's the generally accepted angle, is point.
All right, so like I said, I'm learning, man, so I'm doing research. This is probably gonna be a very talking-oriented portion of this video, just to pre-warn you guys. So I've never done this. I've never checked the angle of the engine and the transmission. So basically what he's saying is where you have your engine and transmission, let's say my fingertips are the end of the transmission. Whenever you set your engine and transmission into your chassis, it's supposed to be pointing downhill somewhere between 0.5 to 3 degrees. Never anything over 3 degrees. And then your rear end is supposed to be matching the same angle, basically. So if you have your engine and transmission, remember my fingertips is the transmission where the drive shaft would hook up. The engine and transmission is mounted in the chassis, and the transmission is pointing down around upwards of 3 degrees. Then you want your rear end. Now the rear end, my wrist side, would be where the drive shaft connects. You want the rear end to point up. So you want the rear end to be pointing up 3 degrees. The crank pulley on the front of the engine sits square with the transmission. So the flat portion, like the front of the, you know what, I'm gonna go get some paper so I could draw a picture. It'd be easier than trying to put this into words. This is the engine, this is the transmission, the tail shaft, that's the rear end. So looking at the crank pulley, this straight line right here is squared with this straight line of your output shaft on your transmission. So the angle that we're looking for is this angle and this angle. So in order to find this angle, it's a little difficult if there's nowhere to put something like this. This is what I'm going to be using to find my angle. So unless you like completely take the drive shaft off and all that, but instead of having to do that, you can get your angle. You can find what angle it's sitting at from the actual crank pulley up here, because like I said, this right here is square with your tail shaft on your transmission. So we're going to be finding the angle of the engine and transmission up on the front on the actual crank pulley, and then we need to go to the rear end and find a good area to get this angle. We have to get this squared portion right here of the rear end, and these two angles have got to basically match or be really close to matching. Alright, so because of limited space between the crank pulley and the radiator, I'm going to be using a straight edge to find our angle. So basically what I'm going to be doing is putting our angle finder on the straight edge. So this has a magnet on the back side along with that little lip right there that you can put flush against a straight edge. I'm going to be placing this like so. I wish the magnet was a little stronger. Anyhow, and then I'll be using this section to span up in between my radiator and the engine and put this flat on the crank pulley. And then that will translate to our angle finder so we can get our angle. Alright, I hope I can do this without my big old head in the way so you guys can see. These freaking angle finders are just so jittery, bro. I wish I had a digital one, but I'm gonna try to get a picture of it. Alright, I think getting a picture is gonna be better than trying to put this little red arrow on it. Or I guess I could try to do both, but I'm definitely gonna be all up in y'all's way. I think I got it. It's so hard to tell, bro, unless you're straight on with it. Alright, so our picture here shows that large line right there is a 0, obviously. So then that is sitting at 1, 2, 3, and in the middle of 3 and 4. So basically 3.5 degrees. Took 2 pictures. For the second picture shows it right on 4 degrees. So the transmission side is about 3.5 to 4 degrees. The video is explaining you don't want it to be anything over 3, that he recommends you getting it to about 2 degrees. So with that being said, that means that the transmission side would have to come up slightly, which honestly is a lot easier than trying to make the transmission come down. So anyhow, let's see what our dip is at now. There's not really a good place, a good square spot on the rear diff. I said screw it, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the drive shaft out of the way, because these flat surfaces right here where the drive shaft actually bolts up is also square with the diff. So this is a good place right here to find our angle. Alright, I'm gonna have to jack the rear end up so I can actually turn this a little bit, because it's just in a funky position. I can't get a good reading off of it. Alright, you guys ready for this, dude? This is the angle of my rear diff. So that large line right there is 0. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, bro. So the rear angle is at 6.5. The front is at 3.5 to 4. We need to get both of them between 2 to 3 degrees. Freaking knew it. So yeah, dude, we are way off, man. That is where the vibration is coming from. Whenever I roll into it and the rear end, I was under the impression like it was doing a wheel hop, but it's not. It's just doing a vibration, because whenever the front and rear U-joints are at a different angle, they will move at different speeds. So whenever the front and rear U-joints try to move at different speeds, you get a really heavy vibration, and that's what it is we are experiencing in this damn Blazer. So the front is at 3.5. I'm gonna shoot for 2.5 degrees. The guy in that video is saying you don't want to go anything over 3. He recommends to go to 2. And the problem here is the rear diff is at 6.5. So what I'm gonna have to do is get a wedge for the rear, and I don't think they sell them in 0.5. I don't know. They do have 4-degree wedges. So if I put a 4-degree wedge back there, that will bring the rear diff to a 2.5 degree angle, and then the front, to correct the front, I've actually got to raise the transmission a little bit, and that's gonna be really easy because the transmission mount right here is literally just 1 bolt, and you see how much thread I have sticking down right there. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this nut out, raise the transmission up, and literally just put a washer between the cross member and the mount, and that will raise this up. So we'll have to put a washer between it and then check it and see if that's enough. If it's not, put another washer, and so on. Now with the rear end, where I'm talking about putting a wedge in it is this lowering block right here. They actually sell wedges that you can put in between here that aren't flat like this. It's actually wedged, so you can correct your pinion angle, and they sell it in degrees. Boom! All of this is what was on my S10 truck out back. All of these blocks. So there was, I believe this is a 3-inch and it's a 1-inch to make a total of 4 inches. And then it also had these. These are wedges. One side is thicker than the other. And as you can see right here, you see that says 2 degrees? That means this is a 2-degree wedge. And I need a set of 4-degree wedges for the rear. And bam! They got them on Amazon, of course. Explorer, Pro Comp, blah, 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 blah. Aluminum 4-degree axle shims, set of 2. And I just ordered them, but unfortunately, the only ones they have available is 2-day shipping. They don't have anything for overnight. So yeah, we're gonna have to pick back up on this later. So whenever those shims come in, we will add those to the back, do the washer thing I explained, and get this whole degree thing figured out, man. That should fix the vibration under load. It's not going to fix the wheel hop by any means. I'm saving the wheel hop for a whole nother video, man. That's a whole nother process we're gonna have to go through. But anyhow, that's pretty much all that I can do with this thing tonight until those shims come in. So we need to move on to something else. This is a Ford 8.8. This is kind of the go-to rear end that people use because from the factory, they're really strong. This is kind of the replacement for the Ford 9-inch. Everybody used to use the Ford 9-inch, but now it's gotten really hard to find. You can go to a junkyard at any given day and find 10 of these damn rear ends, you know what I'm saying? This is a 373 gear, and you might be thinking to yourself, why am I gonna go through all the pain in the ass process of getting the pinion angle and everything correct on the stock rear end that's in the Blazer? That's because I really want to get the Blazer dialed right now with this rear end in it. I'm just gonna say screw it, try to get this thing dialed so we can have a little bit of fun in the Blazer while I am building this. We have a lot of work that we have to do to this that I'm gonna cover in another video. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do smash the like button. Peace, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.